Partnership is a vital tool for anyone. Whether you're in school, at work, or in business, collaboration is critical for success. Government knows this and is teaming up with a number of sectors in order to achieve developed country status.
The President of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, representing the private sector, President of the Confederation of Trade Unions, representing the trade union movement, and a representative of civil society.
We tell you more on that in the show. Also, between today's pages, the country's premier skills training agency is partnering with communities to rescue unattached youth. Hi there, thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. It's an informative show with a little entertainment for your viewing pleasure. Stay with us.
Stop. Think before you burn. The dry season is on, so there's little to no rainfall and wind speeds increase around this time too. What if the fire you light gets out of control? Where would you get the water to out the flame? Why not try bagging up waste and putting it outside for collection? If you absolutely must burn, construct a fire break by clearing an area around the site to be burnt. Use water to wet the perimeter of the brush being burnt. Burn in small piles and be sure to burn one pile at a time. If no water is available, ensure you have some dirt to douse the fire. Remember, take stock of yourself and think before you burn.
Collaborating with the Economic Program Oversight Committee and putting focus on national issues such as energy and commerce, the National Partnership Council is doing more than just talk. With us in studio is a member of the council, Professor Alvin Wint. Up next, he tells us more about the partnership.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we want to speak about the Partnership of Jamaica program. What is the partnership program? Why is it important? How does that relate to you and to your everyday life and the prospects for Jamaica's economic development? Well, we have with us Professor Alvin Wint, who is a member of the Partnership Council, and he will shed light on the relevant issues. We thank you for your company. Professor Wint,
yes,
good to have you on
good to be
the show.
Here.
What is this Partnership for Jamaica?
The Partnership for Jamaica is a recognition of the importance of national cohesiveness to growth and development. When you look at the factors within a country's control that can help that country to become more prosperous, researchers have identified the extent to which there is cohesion across the country as an important factor. Coming out of this and the recognition that we need to build our social capital in Jamaica, for years, successive Jamaican governments have been trying to work with a cross-section of stakeholders around the country to create this cohesion. The current Partnership for Jamaica really had its principal antecedents in an initiative of Prime Minister Golding, former Prime Minister Golding, when in 2010 he constituted a National Partnership Council and in 2011 signed a Code of Conduct.
But there were efforts toward partnership even before that.
Many efforts for decades.
Even straight back to Mandy with the Mandy Accords.
Yeah. But this was really where it was institutionalized. And then when Prime Minister Simpson Miller came to power, recognizing the importance of continuing this initiative, she continued to lead the Partnership Council, and for the first time in Jamaica's history, in July 2013, she signed at King's House the Partnership for Jamaica on behalf of the government of Jamaica and alongside the President of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, representing the private sector, President of the Confederation of Trade Unions, representing the trade union movement, and a representative of civil society. So we had, in effect, a quadripartite arrangement. Government, trade unions, civil society, and the private sector. For the first time, coming together and saying, we are going to seek to join forces to help Jamaica emerge from its financial, economic, and developmental challenges. So that's what the council is all about. And the council is chaired by the Prime Minister, and on it sit representatives from these various sectors. And we have also on the council had representation from the opposition over over this period, not at all meetings, but certainly at some of our meetings.
So the council meets monthly?
The council meets monthly, scheduled to meet monthly, chaired by the Prime Minister, that is correct. But it's important to recognize that the Partnership Council is not the partnership. The Partnership Council is sort of the titular, the head of the partnership, but the partnership is really about these various organizations across the length and breadth of Jamaica coming together and saying, we will work together. Whether it's police working with the citizens in the community, whether it's private sector organizations working with churches, working with trade unions across the country, whether it's the role of academia in support, all saying, we have a challenge as a country, and there's no point in our fighting us amongst ourselves in the country. We must provide a united front to effectively compete against the world, which is the fight that we have to win.
Yeah. So why don't we see this partnership model working now when we need it? For example, the public sector wage negotiations, which have become contentious.
Right.
Well, and the view has been held by Danny Roberts of the trade union movement that the partnership really should have this under its aegis, and that rather than having other mechanisms like EPOC. What's your response?
Well, first of all, it's important to understand that the partnership in its current form has really focused on a few priority areas. One is the extent to which we can control our finances as a country. Another is the extent to which we can lower our energy costs as a country. A third is the extent to which we can reduce crime and violence. And a fourth is the extent to which we can improve the way in which we do business as a country. Now, in each of those areas, there is an institutional support structure to help to monitor. And so just to go through them, in the area of the fiscal program, that institutional structure is the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC.
So that's related to the partnership?
It is absolutely. It's a seamless relationship. In fact, when the partnership document was signed, EPOC was established just a couple months before the partnership document was signed. The partnership document explicitly assigned to EPOC the responsibility to monitor our fiscal program. So creating a separation between the partnership and EPOC isn't correct. It's not the Partnership Council, but again, the Partnership Council is not the partnership. The Partnership Council is in many ways sort of a board of the partnership, with the partnership board being chaired by the Prime Minister. So when you take energy, there is an institutional structure that has been created directly out of the partnership dialogue, the Electricity Sector Enterprise Team, or ESET. In the area of doing business, there is an institutional structure that was established by the Minister for Industry, Investment and Commerce, the National Competitiveness Council, that has the responsibility for trying to ease Jamaica's business environment, make it much more facilitative of business. That organization has membership from the government, and it's joined up, so it's different government organizations, but also the partnership is represented in terms of the private sector. The minister has made it very clear that trade unions need to be a part of that body, and civil society, certainly academic communities, on that council. And then the Minister of National Security has created a partnership structure in the form of the Unite for Change program, where he's really seeking to change the conversation about crime management in Jamaica, away from just a police operation to an operation where you are really partnering across the society, and you're looking at the problem of crime as a multifaceted problem that has to be dealt with, not just by trying to create more police that look like soldiers, but by trying to hit at the very foundation of the crime problem in terms of the educational process, in terms of our culture, in terms of our community structure, in terms of our family structure. So it's a much more multifaceted and more coherent approach to dealing with the problem of crime.
Approach.
It's not just a policing approach.
And that's related to the partnership model.
That is related to the partnership model, because within the partnership, there was a lot of encouragement and dialogue about the importance of changing our focus on crime management in Jamaica. And the minister's idea came out of that dialogue and experiences he had had in other parts of the world, where he had discovered that there was a much broader process to dealing with crime management than just relying exclusively on the force. And what's very interesting is...
We'll take a break.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now, Professor Alvin Wade, always a man with a lot of passion for ideas. We're talking about this concept of partnership, of our working together, and why it is important that we work together, that we put aside our differences or try to resolve our differences in an amicable way. We take a short break, but we'll be right back.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to
live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
We're talking about the Partnership of Jamaica program, a very important program that is critically aligned to our social and economic goals. Professor Alvin Wint is a member of the Partnership Council, and he's shedding light on the work of the partnership. So you would say that things are happening with the partnership program. It's not that things are not happening, and some of the things that are happening that we might not immediately connect with the partnership program are in fact connected.
Absolutely. But again, it's important, I think, to understand the road that we have traveled in Jamaica. We have built up a lot of social capital. Yeah. You were asking before about the current wage negotiations.
Yes.
I think it's important to understand that our trade union movement, our private sector, and our government have for over a decade now been very much aligned in terms of the direction in the country, the importance of improving competitiveness, improving the productivity of our operations. This has been going on for some time. I mean, former Minister of Finance, Omar Davis, began a process with Dwight Nelson from the BITU in creating the memorandum of understanding between the trade unions and the private sector that, yes, had a major moratorium element to it, but also issues of training, issues of increasing levels of trust. When we talk about the partnership structures that we have, the EPOC, for example, there is trade union representation. The trade union representatives on EPOC have had an opportunity to provide their expertise and also to understand some of the constraints. And so the conversation in the country has changed. Now, this doesn't mean that there are not still competing interests. And of course, our public sector workers feel an understandable need to get more earnings. But I think there is an increasing understanding that if we simply increase our wage bill without improving our levels of productivity, it is a Pyrrhic victory, because very soon what you're doing is you're trying to pay those wages out of debt, which is what we have done in the past, or out of inflation, which is what we have done in the past. And none of those things lead to a sustainable improvement. And so the dialogue is there. Our trade unions are seized of the importance of negotiating. They just want to feel that the negotiating process is a legitimate one, that it is being done in good faith, and that there is an understanding of the concern of public sector workers and some level of empathy. So we really do have a process that can work, but I think we all have to be committed to operate in good faith, to recognize the challenges we each face as a country and as in our individual circumstances, and seek a solution that will benefit all parties. It may not be the best for every party, but by dialogue and discussion, we can get to that, as we have done in the past.
And Prof, is it the case that these partnership council meetings where the Prime Minister sits, that current explosive issues are dealt with, that there are private sector people, civil society people, and others, when they have this opportunity now to meet with the Prime Minister on a monthly basis, do they raise the thorny issues?
Absolutely.
And some of those issues are dealt with.
Absolutely.
And perhaps we even see results that people don't know that really came out of that kind of collaboration.
Absolutely, and we could provide examples, but the important point is to recognize that the Prime Minister, our current Prime Minister, and former Prime Minister have been very taken with the importance of this process, of being involved in the process at the highest level, of listening to concerns, of providing an opportunity for those concerns to be shared with a wider audience. This week, Monday, coming out of a presentation at the Partnership Council by the private sector and the trade unions, members of the Partnership Council were invited by the Prime Minister to meet with cabinet members to provide amplification on those issues and concerns that have been raised at the Partnership Council meeting. So it provides an opportunity for a more disparate set of voices that are all important to the governance of the country to be heard by our key policymakers, and so that they can better understand some of the challenges that confront the country and confront individuals in particular sectors of our society. So it's an extremely important mechanism, and it needs to be used well, and we're trying very hard to do that.
Good. There were some members of the partnership that pulled out last year.
Yes.
Are they still out of the partnership?
No, they've
returned?
They have returned to the Partnership Council, and again, they left because they had some concerns that the issues that they had raised weren't being dealt with this sort of speed and level of concern that they had presented. But I think subsequent events and the recognition that there was good faith in terms of trying to change processes has
brought them back.
Has provided an environment where they feel that it is better to be involved in the conversation and to have a sort of a direct opportunity to influence policy than to be outside of the conversation. And that's really what it's about, hearing more voices. And we want to do this across the country. One of the things that the Partnership Council has been doing is going to different parts of Jamaica to hear from individuals in different parishes and also to provide a perspective as to what we're trying to do. And I just want to give one issue there to our audience. I know we don't have much time, but when you look at some other countries that have run into these problems of high levels of debt, high levels of economic instability, it has not worked well for them. I'll give you one example. Although we worry so much about growth levels in Jamaica, when you look at the period from 1960 to 2012, a country like Argentina has grown less at a lower rate than Jamaica. Argentina has had major problems in terms of economic instability, in terms of defaulting on its debt, and finding it very difficult to get back into the capital market. So whereas Jamaica has grown by 5% a year in nominal terms, Argentina has been 4.6% a year. So they were 3 times as rich as we were in 1960. They are now still richer than we are, but twice as much rather than 3 times as much, because their growth rate has been lower. We have to make sure that we build this national cohesiveness, that we deal with our debt issues in order to improve our growth prospects going forward. That is the challenge for the entire country.
The always engaging Professor Alvin Wint, member of the Partnership Council, talking to us about the achievements of the partnership and the importance of it. We thank you for your company. Next week we'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a very pleasant day.
This is Ibo Cooper of Third World, lecturer at Edna Manley College, chairman of Jamaica Reggae Industry Association, saying to Jamaica, whether young or old, look around you and see what you have right throughout the year. I have now filled out 9 passports with traveling, and I've been to every corner of the earth, and there are people who would want what we have. They beg me to come to Jamaica because right now in the Middle East is war. Right now in the North is ice. We have a beautiful place. Please preserve it. Love one another. Like what my granny did tell me, to love people. The lady who don't have nothing to eat, a shut in, make sure she alright. The people them who can walk like me and you, make sure them alright. I see a youth the other day try to rob a blind man. My youth, what you do? We couldn't do them thing there. Help the blind. Help the pregnant lady. Love, you can't beat it. Let's join hands and hearts together and make Jamaica a land of love.
The Heart Trust NTA is on a drive to improve the lives of young people. The entity's latest project involves rescuing unattached youth from economic obscurity. I'll say no more. Watch this.
I was unemployed.
I was not working. I was home.
I was unemployed at home, not doing anything, just home, not doing anything.
The reality that has faced these young people and thousands more is being changed because of a timely and relevant program of the government. It's one designed to create fully skilled young professionals, and it's being dubbed the Heart Trust Unattached Youth Program.
What is it that can give us greater happiness and fulfillment than to engage and to assist in those who for one reason are weaker in terms of their attainments to do better?
When you look at the statistics, some persons are putting out there as much as 150,000 persons who are out there who are unattached, not meaningfully engaged in any other activities. And so we need to now look at how is it that we are going to treat with that particular group. Of course, we don't have the requisite resources to treat with all 150,000 in any one year. However, the minister has asked that we make a meaningful intervention in treating with those persons from that particular grouping.
We must make Jamaica attractive to investors, local and foreign, on the basis of having the most trained workforce, appropriately trained and attitudinally competent.
And so we have put together a program to treat with the underserved youth and to see how we can best impact at least 15,000, as the minister indicated.
Yes, the Education Minister has mandated Jamaica's national training agency, the Heart Trust NTA, to intensify its focus on the E in the agency's acronym, representing employment. One of the ways that the agency has been doing this is through its Unattached Youth Program, which is targeting youth 17 to 30 years old. The program is now in its pilot phase, operating in northeast Manchester, western St. Andrew, and the community of Seaview Gardens.
The program model is in three forms. First of all, some persons will be on the apprenticeship program that we have. Some persons will be on pre-tech program, depending on our assessment as to their readiness to take on the curriculum here at Heart Trust NTA. And some persons will be put on a full NVQJ path, where they're on a training program that will lead to the full NVQJ certification, either within our institutions or existing community centers.
So even if you do not have any CXCs, Heart has something for you. You could be placed in the pre-tech program, learning basic mathematics and English to get qualified for the next level. Young people in northeast Manchester are making progress under this program.
Non-verbal communication, poor communication between employees and company management.
At northeast Manchester, there are currently 138 persons who are enrolled across 6 skill areas, primarily at Omood. So we have 138 persons in this region, and there are 2 locations in this region: the Omood Technical High School, of course, and the Shudley Resource Center.
I've been learning a lot because we just finished a unit on communications, and we also did health and safety procedures as well.
Learn about data operation, and it's a pretty good thing. Learn to fit a computer up, learn software skills, and a lot more. I think it would benefit me because we get certified at the end.
So at the end of this course, if they do not land themselves a job within an organization, they can become entrepreneurs because they can open their own computer shops and do their repairs and do their softwares as well.
So how were these unattached youth selected?
We were in contact with persons from the communities, and we asked them to spread the word. We sent out some flyers, spread the word to the young people that this program is coming up and we need persons for the different skill area. They applied to the Heart Trust, and we did for the persons who were not readily qualified with their CXCs, SSE, we had them sit the hard test, and the persons who were successful in the testing and who had CXCs, we had a day where we came up here with our team and we had interviews for them, and from there we did the selection, and then we had a week of orientation for them.
Areas currently covered in the program range from data operations to housekeeping to motor vehicle repairs. Classes are held Mondays to Thursdays at an established time, with some students in the apprenticeship program receiving on-the-job training. As a bonus, students receive a small stipend of $500 daily or $2,000 a week for the duration of their program just to attend classes. More important, at the end, you get internationally recognized certification from the Heart Trust NTA.
At the end of the program, they will be well-rounded. So applying to the hotels or even guest houses or on cruise ships, they shouldn't have a problem because they'll be well-rounded to work in any of these areas.
Your shoulders.
Youth with disabilities are also included, as one of the action plans is to offer information and communication technology ICT training to them.
What we're going to do as we roll the program out further is to make sure that persons with disability are not disenfranchised, and that we begin to create an environment that will allow persons with disability to be meaningfully engaged.
So for now, the pilot is only in 3 areas. But once that's completed, the program will be rolled out in all constituencies island-wide.
Wherever you have the greater concentration of unattached or underserved, that's the area in which we would want to put our intervention.
And we are hoping that at the end of the day, for all persons that we have engaged, we can place them in jobs. Or for the persons who are so inclined, that we can give them a startup kit to start their own business.
It's going to benefit me because I will be receiving a level 2 certificate from Heart Trust. So that will help me in the process of getting a job in a data operations company.
It has been good. I mean, I wasn't doing anything and now I'm doing something with the hopes of doing better in the future. So any form of upliftment from one stage to the other is always good. Ultimately, I'd like to get a job, then open my own business.
When, not if, when I get my certificate, I'm going to go much further in life. I'm looking sky high.
See, you got to work for the things life requires. Yes, you've got to work for the things you need.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Jamaicans are talented. Musicians, dancers, singers, actresses. Jamaica is a star-studded country where every corner is a stage. The recently concluded Jamaica Film Festival, hosted by Jamaica Promotions Corporation Jampro, was a reminder of the talent pool which exists. American actors and actresses of Jamaican roots came home to encourage talented sisters and brothers like you to not hide your talent, but to step out into the spotlight.
Now that I've been here this time and I've heard what some of the filmmakers and people would like to see, it would be great to incorporate some of those things as well. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I love Jamaica. It's an absolutely beautiful island, and there's a lot of talent here.
Don't give up. You could be the next household name. Think on this. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. Words of the fountainhead writer Ayn Rand. Thanks for watching, and don't forget we value your feedback, so drop us a line. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. You may also follow us on Twitter @JIS News. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Happy Sunday.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.